We have a shocking update on the William Nylander contract extension, and also Swedish netminder Hugo Havelid is stunning everybody at the World Junior Championship. We'll break all this down for you coming up on this episode of Hattrick HQ. But before we get into it, just want to say that 80.6% of you guys watch this aren't subscribed, so if you're looking for a home for daily NHL and daily hockey content, look no further. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, become part of the community here. So we'll be here every day, keeping you up to date on what's happening around the hockey world. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, which is William Nylander is exploring his options. And as we take a look here, it says, according to a recent revelation by Eklund on Hockey Buzz, there's speculation that Louis Gross, Nylander's agent, has been given the nod to engage in discussions with the Anaheim Ducks. And they go on to say in this article that Nylander could can instantly become the standout player of the Ducks, securing his spot on their first line. Mason McTavish, the Ducks' current top scorer with 24 points in 27 games, could benefit significantly from Nylander's presence, potentially forming a dynamic duo. And they also go on to say here, with Nylander on board, the Ducks could boast a formidable top line of McTavish, Carlson, Nylander, setting the stage for long-term dominance. The cost of acquiring Nylander still remains uncertain, but if the Leafs lose him in free agency, the Ducks might secure his talents without giving up any assets. And Mark, as a Toronto Maple Leafs fan, I know you don't want to hear about Nylander potentially exploring his options to Anaheim. Just want to get your initial thoughts on this whole situation.
The first thing is we haven't had a clear insider really come out and say this yet. So this is still a lot of speculation, but it has been a lot of chatter just around social media, and some insiders have almost hinted towards it. I know the Leafs are a real quiet organization. They don't really like coming out and talking about internal matters. But if this case is true, it's a little worrying in the sense, yes, there is a possibility the Leafs do go into the playoffs, come out of it. If they don't win, if they win, they might still lose Nylander either way to free agency. I know that it's a possibility that we could trade him and acquire a few pieces. With the Ducks, it is interesting. There are a few pieces on the Ducks that maybe you could have a look at. I mean, Adam Henrique would be an incredible third line center. You have a couple of veteran pieces there, Labushkin's there as well. We've seen there, we've done that. But with the whole thing is, it's weird to look at in the sense of, are the Leafs going to trade this guy for young pieces for the future to help contend for a maybe a longer period of time? Or if they do move Nylander, is this going to be a grand scheme of, okay, we're going to trade him for another bona fide star, maybe a few other pieces that aren't really at his caliber? So it's going to be quite interesting, especially going into deadline, on how the Leafs kind of just handle this. I mean, we've seen Treliving, he kind of fumbled the bag, for the best thing to say, in Calgary with Goodrow, and I think he's on high alert and doesn't want to go through that again with Nylander.
Yeah, in my personal opinion, I really don't see Nylander getting traded here from Toronto. I think if they lose out on him after free agency, it is what it is in that sense. But I really do think that they're going for the Stanley Cup this year, and you can't do that without a guy like William Nylander, who you can argue is the best player on the Leafs right now between him and Austin Matthews. They're both having great seasons, and he's just proving that he's a great star in this league. He's improved his playmaking drastically, in my opinion, this season, and he's just looking to be could be a top star in this league if he isn't already. And I really don't think you trade this guy, because I think the Ducks are going to have to give up so much to bring this guy in a trade. I think if Toronto's going for it all this year and going for that Stanley Cup, I don't think you move a guy like this, and I really do expect that he will extend in Toronto. He's a guy who loves the limelight, and I really do think that, Toronto is his best option to get this.
Yeah, you said it perfectly. It's almost in the sense of, yes, you can get pieces, maybe guys on 2, 3 year deals. They don't need to worry about with not a high cap hit. But why trade one of your best players if you're going for it all this year? Yes, like we said, there is a possibility he walks in free agency, but you said it perfectly in the sense he's a top player on Toronto. He loves being in the city. He loves this market. So why risk moving this guy for a few other pieces that might help out in the end, or just go for it all this year? If you lose him, yes, it does suck, but a Stanley Cup is the picture for every player and front office. This is what every organization wants. You keep your best players, and you can't do this without your best players. We've seen year after year. Sometimes Matthews fades a bit in the playoffs. Same with Marner, but Nylander's been one of our most consistent playoff performers we've seen in the recent years. So this is a guy you must keep. like I said, we win this cup this year. If Nylander walks, so be it. The city gets a cup. We had great years with them, but you move on. You still have Matthews, Marner, Tavares. You have so many pieces. And if you don't have a cup at the end of this year, you maybe look at breaking the core up. Maybe you move a guy like Marner, not Matthews, Nylander, so one of these guys to break the core up. So I think either way, there's going to be a shakeup at the offseason. But hopefully Nylander's here. Hopefully we can hoist the cup. And I think we keep him at all costs at this point.
Yeah, it's high risk, high reward situation here. You want to keep him. He's the best playoff performer, like you said. You need this guy to go on a deep run, and I really don't think you see him traded. If he, like you said, he walks, he walks. It's a high risk situation, but I really don't see him walking, in my opinion. But I mean, I'm just going to talk about the Ducks for a second. Obviously, this could be a great home for him. It'd be an organization that's looking to win very soon. With their coming out the end of a rebuild, and adding a guy like Nylander could really help push them towards getting into that playoff picture. And they just got a guy there in Leo Carlson, who is a fellow Swede. Nylander could be a great mentor for this guy and really help him get his footing in the league as a pro.
Yeah, the Ducks have such a young team that's almost up and coming. I can't see them being a playoff team for maybe the next 2, maybe 3 years, depending on how things look out west. But they can't rebuild forever. You have so much draft capital, so many prospects, so many assets that you need to eventually move these for another top player. I mean, you can keep drafting as much as you want, but you only have so many players on your roster to put on the ice. So you could have 50 starting goalies, but it's not like you can start all of them. So at some point, you need to start moving a few of these guys, a few of these picks. And if Nylanders are looking at sign extension in California or in an area like this where it's nice and warm and not cold and bad traffic like Toronto, this could be a perfect opportunity for the Ducks to secure their star, put him next to Zegras, McTavish, Carlson, Drysdale. You have so many options on this team that you could really build around with Nylander there as well.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to see what happens here. Like we said, if he's traded, it's going to be a massive deal. I think we see Zegras and a few other guys come back with a lot of first round picks, in my opinion. I really don't think it's in the Ducks' best interest to trade for this guy because, I mean, they're just going to have to give up so lot to get him. But I really do expect, I'm going to mark it down. You can mark it down. I'm going to say that Nylander signs back in Toronto, and I just really think that's what's going to happen. I don't see this guy leaving. I think he loves the team. He loves the culture in Toronto. Don't see this guy leaving. It'll be really interesting to see what happens. Let us know down in the comment section below. What do you think about this situation? Do you think you'll see Nylander in a Ducks jersey, or do you think he'll be back with the Leafs next year? Let us know down below. But we're going to get into our second topic here, and that is Sweden stuns Canada at the World Juniors. And obviously, this afternoon, Sweden did beat out Canada 2-0 in the World Juniors today. Obviously, it wasn't the result a lot of Team Canada fans were looking for, Mark, but the result could have been a lot worse if Matisse Rizzo didn't stand on his head like he did today. It could have easily been a 4-5 loss. I mean, Canada did have a lot of great chances in this game. I think they're going to learn from this, and it's really going to help them throughout the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, the first thing I want to say, when you kind of looked at the teams going into this tournament, I had USA, Canada, Sweden as the top three. You could kind of switch them around, but I was pretty comfortable with having it in that order. But looking at this was a dominant game from Sweden itself, shutting out Canada. I believe the last time Canada was shut out in this tournament was 2 years ago, I believe, in the gold medal game against the USA. Since then, they haven't been shut out in the tournament itself. It might have happened in an expedition. I didn't look that far back. But shutting out a team like this is a big thing for Sweden on their home ice. They're in Sweden, and this is just outstanding for the country. Shutting out Canada that just came off a dominant win, and it just is huge. You've seen Sweden play as a team. The goaltending was incredible. All aspects of the game, even though they gave up chances, I know there was a lot of Cowan attempts that he looked great. He had a lot of chances to score or setting people up, but everything was shut down, and Sweden came out victorious.
Yeah, Sweden looks like the tournament favorites right now in my eyes. I mean, they're just clicking together out there. You can tell their chemistry is unmatched. They're just playing phenomenal hockey right now, and I really do expect this team to maybe make it to the finals this year. I think they're looking great, and it's all on the back of great goaltending, which Hugo Havelid had his second shutout of the tournament tonight against Canada with a 21 save shutout. I mean, this guy, 5'10 goalie, undrafted, kind of the similar situation we talked about with Rizzo on the Canada side. This guy got looked over because of his height. He has 2 shutouts in this tournament now, and I believe Sweden Sweden has shut out every team in this tournament that they faced so far. I'm really excited for this guy because you love to see just these, people who go under the radar in NHL drafts and stuff like this kind of come out, show what they're made of, and make a name for himself. And I really do think we may see Hugo Havelid go drafted next year after his performance in this tournament.
Yeah, it's awesome to see both goalies for Canada and Sweden really making a name for themselves in this tournament. I mean, everyone around this world, especially everyone in these countries that are playing in the tournament, are watching this. So, with these two guys making such a name for themselves, it's just going to be awesome to see them maybe sign AHL deals, maybe a ECHL deal, or get drafted. So, it's going to be great to see what comes of this, how guys shine, and who's going to be really the hero of their country at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely. And Canada's back in action New Year's Eve against Germany to determine who's going to be the second seed out of group play. So that'll be a great one to watch. Make sure to tune into that one, 1 p.m. EST. Going to be a great game to watch. A big game for Canada. I think a must win in this tournament. So hopefully they come out on top with the win here. And I'm sure Sweden, they're just going to be rolling here now. 3 wins, 3-0, 3 shutouts. Can't wait to see what's to come out of them as well. But we're going to get everybody's favorite topic here, and that is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to our boy Pat G Mafia. Shout out to you, Pat G, a day one supporter here on the channel. He says Leafs should make a move for Chychrun. Mark, what do you think of this about a potential Leafs trade for Jacob Chychrun?
I mean, if the Sens are selling, I would take Chicken in a heartbeat. I think he's looked great for the Sens when he's healthy. That was the big issue with him. It's just the consistent healthiness. I know that's not something you can blame on him. It's just freak accidents at time. But I think he'd fit perfectly on the second pairing for the Leafs. If they can acquire a guy like this, maybe for some draft capital, if the Sens are maybe too looking to sell off a guy like this, maybe get a few other pieces here and there, I'd be all for it. But I feel like the Sens asking price is going to be a lot higher than a lot of teams are going to be willing to give up.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you there, but it'll be interesting to see what happens. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 3,000 subscribers here, so we really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoy the NHL, make sure to check out this video that's popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC, alongside my co-host, Mark Pye. Keep your stick on the ice.